You, oh there, yeah you, that's right, you, the one watching this video right now, you. Let me ask you a little question. Are you a white straight male? Were you born in the 90s, but you grew up in the 2000s? Tell me, are you a Gen Zer, but you hate the fact that you are, and you think you're superior to everyone else, and you think everyone who's a Gen Zer is stupid except you? Does death and eternal blackness frighten you? Do I frighten you? Do you think your opinions are way more valid than everyone else, and everyone who doesn't share your opinion is just a dum-dum? Do you like going on the internet and being a self-righteous everywhere you go? Well, in that case, slap me hard, daddy, and call me Ryan Gosling, because you are literally me. Do you think Ryan Gosling likes it when he's like walking on the street, just like minding his own business, you know? He had a hard day filming some movie, and then some like sweaty dungeon dweller who hasn't seen sunlight in a long time comes up to him and he's like, oh, Ryan Gosling, oh my god, you're my hero. I loved you in that movie Drive. You're like literally me. Do these people realize that Ryan Gosling is an actor? And the way he is in that movie Drive? I actually haven't seen Drive. I don't know how he is in the movie. Like, is he a psychopath in that movie? I don't know. But do they think that, like, that's him? Like, that's literally Ryan Gosling? Do they think Ryan Gosling walks around in a leather jacket with a scorpion on it and he doesn't speak to anyone? But when people ask him, what do? He stands there quietly for a moment. And then he says, softly and dramatically, I drive. To all the people that identify with psychopaths in movies, and I'm talking about like people who think Ryan Gosling in Drive, or Christian Bale in American Psycho, or Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, if they see these characters and think like, oh my god, that's like literally me. That is me. That is how I am. I think you should check yourself into a clinic because you might be a f***ing sociopath. Wait, where was I? Sorry. I have this super rare condition that I bet no one else have. It's called ADHD. Oh yeah, I know. I'm super quirky. I'm not like the other girls. You know, I might also have bipolar. Who knows? I might be a schizo too. Woohoo! I'm so quirky. This video is not about those types of guys. We're not going to talk about the Ryan Gosling wannabes. Now, this video is about Chinese cartoons. Oh, another video about Chinese cartoons. Chris, come on. We're tired of talking about the Chinese cartoons. Well, I'm sorry, but out of all of my videos, those are the ones that do pretty well for some reason. So, you know, why not milk it? Chinese cartoons, everyone. Most of the world has heard of them. Only half of it has seen them, but only 1% is a fan of Chinese cartoons. And guess what category I'm in? Oh, that's right, I'm in the 1%, baby. It's been 7 years since I got into Chinese cartoons. And before that, like before I got into it, I didn't have like the most positive opinion about them. I had pretty bad experience. Well, I wouldn't say bad per se, but not like positive experience as a kid. You see, I grew up watching American and European cartoons that would be dubbed in my native language, but when they would put Chinese cartoons on television in my country, it was always the English dub with Icelandic subtitles. And well, I was kind of too young at the time, so I couldn't read, or like not capable enough to read, so I had to just go off the images alone, and well, they kind of just confused me even more. There were times when I was in a middle school where I would see like kids wearing, you know, Tokyo Ghoul sweaters, but I had no idea what the f that was. It wasn't till much later where a classmate of, this was when I was in high school, and a classmate of mine told me that, he told me about Filthy Frank. He introduced me to Filthy Frank, and he told me to watch the Weeaboo video. And that was like my absolute first exposure to Chinese cartoons. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's that thing. that's that thing that I saw as a kid, but I didn't really like. Oh, okay. But, you know, let's be honest, Frank doesn't really talk really positively about the fans, so I kind of had this really negative look on Chinese cartoons and the fan base. And it wasn't until 2015 where I saw Hika's video, Ryan Hika. Amazing, super classic YouTuber. It's really sad to see that he is completely retired, but you know, he's giving us enough. He's done enough. But I saw his video, he did like a parody of Naruto, and I had no idea what Naruto was, but I saw his video and thought, dude, show about like ninja school? Awesome. So I checked it out and I got really into it. And you know, like a lot of people say, Naruto, Dragon Ball, these shows are kind of like the gateway drug. They're like, you know, they're like marijuanas. You try them and sooner or later you're going down, you're watching hentai, you're basically doing crack at that point. That's right, I tried marijuana and now I'm a crack addict. I'm sure a lot of people experienced this when they got first into Chinese cartoon. They went to this, like, they went into a super weep phase, or like oh, I want to watch as much shows as possible, and you would just binge because you had all the time in the world back then. For some reason, binging shows and playing video games was just so much easier back then. But now when you're a bitter old adult, it just becomes so much harder. There's so much responsibility and not enough time. Especially I would watch shows from the 2010s the most. Those were like the ones that were like going around back then. Everybody was talking about them back then day. But now those shows have become like 10 years old, and even some older, because we're like 2 years into this new decade. Nostalgia. We all know it. We like to revisit stuff from our past, and currently in this like current climate, or this current like seasonal Chinese cartoons, I'm not that really interested. Out of nowadays, there are like 50 shows in one season. Okay, not really, but I'm exaggerating. And out of like those 50 shows, not really 50, but I maybe watch like 5, and I complete maybe like 1 or 2 of them. Right now, everybody's talking about Chainsaw Man. Like, I do plan to check it out, but I'm not in any hurry to. This kind of fatigue gave me a bit of nostalgia. Made me go, oh, things were so much better in the old days. These kids today watching their Chainsaw Man, back in the days, we used to watch Attack on Titan. Back in the days, we watched Tokyo Ghoul. Man, these kids with their My Hero Academia. Back in my days, we used to watch Fairy Tail. Man, all these kids watching the 1 billionth isekai. Back in my days, we had Sword Art Online, baby. And that's kind of the whole premise of this video. Nostalgia. I want to go back, or I want to see, like, because I'm currently just feeling this, oh, things were so much better back in the days. Anime used to be better. It's way better in the past than it is today. It's too crowded today. It has become too mainstream. You used to be bullied for being an anime fan. Now you're congratulated for it. It's this way with every genre if you really think about it. Like when video games first came out, they were like, oh, these are for kids. Video games just for little babies. And if you were like into video games when you were in your teens, you were a loser. The biggest loser ever, nerd. Why aren't you playing football? Why aren't you doing sports, loser? It wasn't cool to play video games back in the days. You were a loser for doing that. But then the people that were super into video games as kids became adults, and they were like, you know what, I still want to play video games. And video games became mainstream, and now it's this $1 billion industry, and you can even become an athlete. Esports, you can play video games as a sport now. If go back in time in a time machine and tell someone in the 70s or the 80s, hey, go to your chat, the Giga chat in your high school who played football, and tell him like, you may laugh at me now, but in the future video games will be the biggest sport in the world. They will laugh at you. That will be the biggest joke of the century back then. But Lord hold, it happened. And same thing with anime. If you were super into anime in the 90s and the early 2000s, if you watched it as a kid, fine, no one cared. But once you enter like middle school or high school and you were still into it, you were a loser. You were a sweaty beta weep. You were cringe. You were lame. You were Lord of Cringe. And you were bullied. But now, all of a sudden, anime is mainstream, and now everybody's talking about it. If you go on Twitter, every single season there's something hype going on. Everybody's talking about the new hype show, and I don't like it. I want to go back to the times where it wasn't cool to watch anime, where you were a loser for watching it. And that brings me to the title of the video. Does it still hold up? Do these shows that we used to watch 10 or so years ago, do they still hold up? Are they still good today? Are the new shows better? Are the old animes better than the new stuff? Or is it worse? Am I maybe just blind to nostalgia? Is the new better and I'm just blinded by the past? Maybe. We're gonna find out in this video. Okay, it's time to come out clean a little bit. This is a re-recording. I actually recorded the opening to this video yesterday. And the segment we're about to go into just in a bit, I also recorded yesterday. So I've already, like, the segment that you're about to watch later, I did that yesterday. So yeah, this is a re-recording because the intro that I recorded yesterday was out of focus. So I had to re-record it. And I've changed the premise. If you watch later, there's going to be some inconsistencies in what I'm going to be saying now because I've changed the premise of the video. So it was going to be that I was going to pile all the most popular shows of the 2010s, 2010 to 2019, the 2010s, and I was gonna watch the 2010 shows for this video and do like a big video, but then I realized, oh, this video is already like 40 minutes long. You'll see it in the next segment. There's gonna be some inconsistency, but do know that I'm gonna release this as it's a separate video. And then we're gonna start with the 2010s, 2011, and onward. This is gonna be a long running series. That's right, this is now a weep channel. I'm kidding, but I'm gonna do this series. Without further ado, I'm gonna now pass the mic over to Yesterday Chris. Here, Yesterday Chris, take the mic. Take the mic, here, take the mic, take the mic, take the Okay, so right now, we are at the seasonal Chinese cartoons. And we're gonna start here with 2010 Winter. As you can see here, the number one most popular show of Winter 2010 was Durarara. And as you can see quite clearly, I gave it a 10. I actually really love Durarara. I just really like the stuff that this author makes. So Durarara is based on a novel series by the same author that wrote Bakano, which is also a 10 out of 10 for me. Keep in mind, I do rate Chinese cartoons a bit different to regular shows. For example, if somebody asks me what is my absolute favorite shows of all time, I would say Breaking Bad, Mr. Robot, and the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. But if I had to like compare, for example, Bakano or Durarara to shows like that, Bakano and Durarara would maybe be they'd probably be like an 8 out of 10 for me. Like if I was rating them alongside like live action, high budget TV shows, it would probably be like a 8 out of 10. But in anime scale, I would say they're a solid 10. We're gonna rewatch it and see if it still holds up. So the first show that we're gonna check out is Durarara. Okay, Spring 2010. The most popular show here with 2 million is Angel Beats. I remember Angel Beats. It was, again, when I started watching anime in 2015-16, it was one of the most talked shows ever. Everybody was talking about Angel Beat, how great it was, even like 5 years after it came out. But I have not rewatched it since. I do remember that I watched it for the first time in 2017, And yeah, I haven't watched it since. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and this is pretty much just from memory. But it's time to find out if it still holds up, because now I'm a bitter old man who hates everything. Kiss Exist. Kiss Exist is actually not a good show. It's this year 8 out of 10 is just kind of like a troll. Summer 2010. The #1 show was High School of the Dead, and this is another show that I've only seen once, and it was back in 2017. And yeah, I gave it a 6 because it's not really good. Not from a memory point of view, it's not good. It was actually, I'll admit, I did kind of enjoy it when I was 17. Obviously, I kind of had fun with it when I was 17, but when I was like reviewing it a few months back, well, not reviewing it or like going over everything that I've seen, I thought about it. I was like, nah, it's probably bad. But again, I haven't seen it since, so it's time to revisit it. High School of the Dead. Fall 2010. Ooh, no. So for you people that don't know, Ore no imoto ga konanani kawaii wa wake ga nai, or Orimo for short. It translates to, my little sister can't be this cute. Ooh, yeah, it's not good. The author that wrote the books he also did Ero Manga Sensei, and that one was even worse. Somehow it was even worse. But yeah, I do not have fond memories of Orimo, and as you can see, I gave it a 4. But it's time to see if it holds up. Doubt. Yosugo no Sora 7, that is also a bit of a troll here. Yosuga no Sora is batshit insane. Or Yosugo no Sora in a solitude where we are at last alone. It's batshit insane, and I can appreciate how fucking nuts this show is. Another show here is A Certain Magical Index. I really like the A Certain series. I'm a huge fan of those. 8 out of 10 here. And Panty and Stalking with Gutterbell. That's also a masterclass comedy. Durarara, Angel Beats, High School of the Dead, and Orimo. Winter 2011, and the lucky winner here is Puella Bear with me. Puella Maki Motoka Machika. I do remember that one. It was one of those shows that kind of like blew up in popularity because of its, you know, it kind of it subverts your expectation. It's a show directed by Ryan Johnson. Not really, but it's kind of like that. It on the survey it looks like, oh, cutesy magical girl show, but it takes a weird turn and surprised a lot of people. I gave it an 8 out of 10, but the thing is, I don't really remember it that much. Like, I remember like the first 3 episodes because that's where all the, like, you know, surprise shit comes, like the shock, but the rest is blank, and this is 12 episodes, and I don't remember anything that happened after like the first 3, so I don't know if this 8 out of 10 is served. I just kind of do it because, oh, it's very popular and people like it, so I guess it's an 8, but we'll see. It's on the list. We're gonna check it out. Okay, Spring 2011, Steins Gate. Oof, Steins Gate. Okay, that's another 10 out of 10 show. I do remember Steins Gate being literal perfection. But, it's been a while, so it's time to find out, does it still hold up? And oh, I think people are gonna really hate me for this one. Anohana, the flowers we saw that day. A flower we saw that day. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, fucking crucify me for all you want. I don't like Anohana. I think this one is very overrated, and as you can see, I dropped it. I thought it was boring. Nichijou, I gave it a 10. That's a well-deserved. Nichijou is a genuine masterpiece. Okay, Summer 2011. Okay, here we have a first case. The #1 pick is a show called Bunny Drop, Usagi Drop. I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it. So we're gonna move on to the next one that I have seen, and that's Mayochiki. Mayochiki. I gave it a 7. Yeah, I don't remember this show, but it's time. Well, I do remember it was something about a girl that dresses like a butler, or is like pretending to be a guy, and no one is. And the main character finds out that she's a girl, and she has to like hide that. That's like the only thing that I remember from the show. But we're gonna check it out and see if it's better, same as I remember it, just forgettable, or if it's bad. Fall 2011. Oof. Okay, another one where here's the #1 most hyped of the fall season. It's Hunter x Hunter, and I haven't seen it. Again, I feel like I'm gonna get crucified for a lot of shit. Hunter x Hunter is one of those shows that people go like, it's a masterpiece, it's a class, but I didn't really get into it. I watched like the first few episodes and it just didn't grab me. I wasn't interested. But I did watch the second place show, Mirai Nikki, The Future Diary. And yeah, again, this is another show that I only watched once. And I do remember when I was 17 that I kind of liked Mirai Nikki. Because, you know, just like everyone else, I was a ecchi 17-year-old. But looking back on it, I don't think it was good. I gave it a 6 because I just thought about it and like, it's probably not that good. But again, I haven't watched it since, so it's time to revisit and see if it holds up, if it's better or if it's worse. Guilty Crown, I dropped that one. And oh, and Hagane. I actually really like Hagane. I don't have many friends. I really like that one. That's a good like romantic comedy harem show, because it's sort of, you know, okay, here's the thing. I'm not really a fan of harem shows. I don't really find them fun. They're kind of boring. But I do like Hagane because it's a bit of a satire. It's kind of like a parody of the harem genre. Okay, and that concludes 2011. We're gonna be watching Puella Magi Motaka Machika, Steins Gate, Mayochiki, and The Future Diary for 2011. But that's video 2. That's gonna be part 2. So this is homework for you. You're also supposed to watch this. Well, then again, you can't really follow along with Durara, Angel Beats, High School of the Dead, or Orimo, because, you know, I'm gonna review them in this video. But homework. Everything from 2011 and on is a homework for you people. Okay, winter 2012. Another. This is a show that came out, was really popular because of the, you know, it's a shock value show. Grotesque shock value images to kind of make you go, oh shit, you see that? So it's time to revisit. And oh, and High School DxD. I also gave that one a 6. That one is not good. That one is kind of bad. Oh, Monogatari. I really hope I get to talk about Monogatari. This is Nisei Monogatari, but I really hope I get to talk about some of the Monogatari series. I actually really like the Monogatari series. Spring 2012, and Hyoka is the #1 here. I am actually a huge fan of Kyoto Animation. It's probably my favorite studio, but Hyoka wasn't really my favorite of their stuff, or at least, you know, I don't really remember it super fondly. But I did give it an 8 out of 10. Again, I don't really remember it. I kind of faintly remember that the protagonist was kind of like, he didn't really want to do much. He always wanted to like preserve his energy. But this girl is really energetic and wants to like explore mysteries and stuff. So she kind of like drags him into this kind of club of like solving mysteries or finding mysteries. That's like what I remember. But I don't really like remember anything from the show. I just kind of remember the premise. So it's time to find out if it still holds up. Summer 2012. Here is another one that I'm not a huge fan of. Sword Art Online. I would much rather talk about Kokoro Connect. I love Kokoro Connect. But unfortunately, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, Sword Art Online. Why are you the way that you are? Every time I want to do something fun, you make it not. I hate so many things that you choose to be. Isekai, power fantasy, incel protagonist who has a harem of cute anime girls bullshit that we're trapped in now. I blame all of it on Sword Art. But I discovered there is a... Oh, wait, don't take it from me. Like, take this with a grain of salt. I am not fully sure, but I've heard about this. There is a movie that recently came out, or like last year. It's called Sword Art Online Progressive. And it's apparently supposed to be like a retelling of the first season. Kirito is supposed to be a better like written character, and Asuna is given more stuff. You know, she's not just some, you know, she's not some high-level cook for him. We're gonna rewatch Sword Art Online, and I will check out this progressive movie to see if it's better or if it improves the original. So let's see about that. Fall of 2020, Psycho Pass. Again, this is another one that I haven't rewatched, but I remember it being really good. After all, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Psycho Pass is a kind of like a futuristic dystopian cyberpunk story. And again, I remember it fondly, so I'm definitely excited to revisit this one. I really wish we could talk about JoJo, and also love Chunibyo and Other Delusion. I also really like that one. That is all really good. That's, like you see, 8. And okay, you might... Some people might find this annoying that I gave the first part a 7. Okay, everyone, homework for 2012. This will be the second video. Homework for that one. We'll be watching Another, the horror anime, Hyoka by Kyoto Animation, Sword Art Online, and Psycho Pass. Winter 2013, and it looks like I hit the jackpot. I get to talk about Hagane. I haven't seen... The most popular was this one. Never heard of it. This one, never heard of it. Hagane. We get to talk about Hagane. I don't have many friends. This is the second season, but I will also talk about just the first season. Spring 2013, and yeah, that's there's no competition here. Attack on Titan came out. Spring 2013 was loaded with good stuff. Well, not good stuff necessarily, but you know, decent stuff. You got here Attack on Titan, The Devil is a Part-Timer, My Teenage Romantic Comedy, Data Life, the second season of Oremo. Like you can see, I gave the second season a 3. What did I give the other one? A 4 or a 5? I don't remember. So much good stuff came out, but Attack on Titan reigns supreme here with 3.6 million, while the second place only has 1.4 million. I really wish I could talk about the Devil is a Part-Timer, because as you can see, I like that one more than Attack on Titan. Oh boy, I'm gonna get so crucified. I don't think Attack on Titan is a bad show. I just think the first season is a bit overhyped. I do agree that Attack on Titan gets better with time. Like around the 3rd season, I do agree it gets better there. But I think the first 2 were a bit overhyped. Summer 2013. I did not see Danganronpa. High School DxD. It's another show. I didn't actually watch it. I said before that I did, but I didn't really like watch the first few episodes and thought, nah. Free, that's too gay for me. And luck strikes again. I get to talk about the Monogatari series. And finally, fall of 2013, we got Kill la Kill. I gave it a 9. I have really fond memories of Kill la Kill, and I'm really excited to check it out again. Let's see if it holds up. 2013, we'll be checking out Hagane, Attack on Titan, Monogatari series, and Kill la Kill. Winter 2014, we'll be checking out Noragami. This is another show that I watched years ago and don't really remember that much about it. I gave it a 7, so it didn't really leave a huge impact on me. In second place, we have Nizuko, False Love. Again, I don't really have a lot of fond memories of it. I think it was okay, at least, you know, a 7. Apparently, my past self thought it was okay. And Chunipyo loses again. I really like Chunipyo. Oof, this is the year that Pupa came out. That's fucking dog shit. Spring 2014 is No Game, No Live. No Game, No Live is also one of those shows that came out, was super hyped, everyone loved it. And again, apparently, I also liked it apparently, but I don't really remember it much. It was just something about these siblings playing games with different like fantasy races. And yeah, it's time to maybe revisit. And once again, JoJo loses. Summer of 2014, and lucky winner is Tokyo Ghoul. If you were a teenager in the early 2000s, there is a good chance you knew someone who was a huge Tokyo Ghoul fan. They typically kind of looked like, you know, this, and this. So yeah, you kind of know the demographic for Tokyo Ghoul. It's really ecchi. It's for those not like the other girls and boys type of group. I apparently gave it a 7. And again, I have not rewatched it since, and it's been years, so it's time to check it out. Fall of 2014 is Your Lie in April. We're getting into the tearjerkers, the stuff that people cried over. This show did not really win me. You see, I'm like a fucking robot. I don't have emotions. But okay, when it comes to like boohoo, sad cry shows, they really have to like try to win me over. But I still remember Your Lie in April being a good show. But you know, again, haven't watched it since, so it's time to find out. Guys, Trinity 7. Remember that one? Trinity 7. Remember how much I fucking loved it? Homework for 2014 is Noragami, No Game, No Life, Tokyo Ghoul, and Your Lie in April. Winter 2015 is Assassination Classroom. And I do remember that one fondly. I think that one was really good. But again, I haven't watched it since, so it's time to rewatch. Tokyo Ghoul, Route A fucking sucks, as you can see. Hate it. Death Parade has one of the best openings, but it's really mid otherwise, but without the opening. Oh look, it's Testament of Sister Nuke Devil. I gave it a 3. Oh, it says I completed it. I did not. Spring of 2015 is Food Wars. And this is another, I give it a 7, and this is another that I haven't watched again. But I did think it was decent. Hey guys, I have a question for you. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in dungeons? Is it wrong? Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in dungeon? Summer 2015 is Charlotte. This is another show that I only have seen once. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was something about high schoolers having superpowers, if I remember correctly. It's by PA Works. This is also the studio that did Angel Beats, and they've kind of they've always been known kind of as like a discount Kyoto animation. They like try to do these like sad cry animes. Oh, Shimonetta. I remember that one. Shimonetta. I remember that. A boring world where the concept of dirty jokes does not exist. Oh, that was a good one. Or at least I remember it being really good. I gave it an 8. And fall of 2015, we have One Punch Man. A classic. I gave it a 9. I really like this one. I've only seen it once, but I have so many fond memories of it. So I'm really excited to revisit it. Homework for 2015 will be Assassination Classroom, Food Wars, Charlotte, and One Punch Man. 2016 Winter. Oh boy. Boku dake ga inai machi, or Erased. I do remember this one. This was very popular. And as you can see, I rated it pretty fairly. I think this show was really good. But a lot of people say the ending was really bad, or like the ending was rushed and just not deserved. And again, I haven't seen it since I first saw it. So I'm just not sure. I've kind of convinced myself that, yeah, the ending was really weak because people just people keep saying the ending is bad. But when I first saw it, I don't really think the ending was bad. Or at least that's what I remember. I remember actually really enjoying the anime. Then people said, oh, the ending was shit. Erased is overhyped. Overrated. So it's time to find out, is it overrated? Or is it just as good as I remember? Or has it really aged poorly? As you can see here, Konosuba. God's blessing on this wonderful world. This is a masterpiece. I hate isekai. I can't stand isekai. This is the only isekai that I genuinely like. I genuinely love this show. The characters are so likable. The setting and everything they do. This is like a lot. There's a lot of isekais coming out today. There are self-aware or satire or parody. Because the genre is so shit that it's just become this. So now there's like every season there's like every fucking season nowadays there are like 10 fucking isekais, and maybe 6 of them are self-aware or a satire or parodying the genre, but none of them do it as well as Konosuba. Konosuba is just a masterclass of satire and parody. Spring of 2016, Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academia, the biggest shonen anime in recent years. This, yeah, I do remember this being fucking solid. Solid show. I gave it an 8. And it's time to revisit. Does it still hold up? This show is still airing. Like, currently, in this season that we are in currently, season 6 is airing. So, this is a still occurring show. Oh boy, ReZero. I haven't watched it. As you can see, it's kind of on hold. I do plan to continue it. I watched like the first 3 episodes, but then just dropped it. And yeah, I'm not planning completely dropping it. I do intend sometime to watch it, but we'll see when that happens. Summer 2016. Oh boy, here's the hot take. I don't like Mob Psycho. I know the animation is god tier, as everybody says it. I know. It does have solid animation. I just don't like it. I've watched like the first 6 or so episodes and I just was not getting into it. And we've already talked about Food Wars, or no, we haven't talked about it yet, but we've put it on a list. So it's The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I really like The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I think it's a high quality comedy. So I have hit a wall, which I was not expecting, but turns out I didn't actually watch anything from fall 2016. The #1 show was Haikyuu, haven't seen it. Yaoi on Ice, the gay skating show, didn't watch it. Boon Stray Dogs 2, never heard of it. Never heard of it, never, no. There is nothing here. I haven't seen any of this. So I'm gonna do a rare exception. I'm gonna go back to summer. We're also gonna talk about 91 Days. So yeah, we're gonna take 2 shows from the summer of 2016. This will be the homework of 2016. It's Erased, My Hero Academia, The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, and 91 Days. We get to talk about Konosuba. Unfortunately, I don't get to talk about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. As you can see, I really like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, but I really love Konosuba as well. So I'm definitely happy. We're gonna talk about Konosuba. Spring of 2017. Okay, at this point in time, I was 18, and this was around the time where I was really getting into anime. This was like my ultimate weep face period, where I was just, this was like around the time where I was binging everything. And I saw Attack on Titan season 2 when it was airing, but we've already put Attack on Titan on the list, and also My Hero Academia. I'm not talking about you. Fuck you. No, I am not. I do not care I am never going to rewatch Eromanga Sensei. Never. This show is poo-poo. This show is diarrhea. This show is agony. I am not fucking watching it. So instead we're gonna watch Akechi's Records of Bastard Magic Instructor. So yeah, it might not be as interesting to rewatch as Eromanga Sensei, because, you know, if I rewatch Eromanga Sensei, oh boy, I could just blow a fucking thunderstorm of ranting. But we're gonna go with this one because I don't think Eromanga Sensei is gonna be healthy for my... It's just not gonna be healthy. Oh hey, it's that... I've never seen this one, but it's that one with a really shitty name. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Shumatsu nani shitsumatsu ka izogashi desu ka sukute morate I desu ka? It's a world end. What do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? What is this title? World End. What do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? This title. What is this? Summer 2017 Kagegure. Kagegure. This show is about high school girls gambling and getting really hot and bothered over it. I remember when this one came out. And yeah, I just give it a 7. I thought it was just like, yeah, it's decent. It's okay. It's pretty good. So we're gonna rewatch it and see if it still holds up. Sorry, mate in Abyss. Sorry, Classroom of the Elite. Sorry, Suderu Children. Sorry, gamers. But that's me! My first girlfriend is a gal. Wasn't your first girlfriend a gal? Fall of 2017. Black Clover. I did not watch it. We've already put Food Wars on the list. Oh hey, Blandes. Didn't not watch it, but I remember this one for the memes. You remember the memes? You know, the smile, sweet, sister, sadistic, service, and then you had like some stupid meme at the end. Сука, блядь! But yeah, this show will be remembered for that dumb meme. Guys, remember 2017? Remember 2017 memes? Oh, so nostalgic. Imoto Umaru-chan. I recently I've seen the first season, not the second season. The second season recently got a dub, so I decided to check it out. But yeah, maybe I'll check out the first season as well. Himoto Umaru-chan. Imoto. The homework for 2017 will be Konosuba, Akechi Record of Bastard Magic Instructor, Kakagure, and Imoto Umaru-chan. Winter 2018, Violet Evergarden. This is also a Kyoto animation. I've only seen it once. Gave it an 8 out of 10. I do remember I don't really remember much about this. I remember she was like she wrote people, she like wrote love letters to people, or like how people write, you know, love letters. And the only thing I really remember about it is that the animation was next level. And yeah, we're gonna watch Violet Evergarden, but there's also Darling in the Franxx. I do not like that one. I dropped it. And oof. TC Master Takagi-san. I actually would have liked to revisit that one as well. I give that one an 8. And oh, guys, Citrus. If you guys are old school Hey I Mr. fans, who the fuck is a fan of this channel? But if you're an old school viewer and you've been here if you've been here all since 2018, you should have remembered my rant on this fucking show. Spring 2018, My Hero is already on the list. Tokyo Ghoul is already on the list, so yeah. I haven't seen that one, or I'm planning Steins Gate. We already talked about it. Food Wars, already talked about it. Sword Art Online, already talked about it, or like put it on the list. I am not gonna rewatch this. Persona 5 the animation. It's dog shit. I'm not gonna check it out, but I will check out Magical Girl Site. If you're also an old school fan or a viewer of this channel, you should also remember my rant about this one. And as you can see, I gave it a 4. Does this one hold up? Is it still a 4 out of 10? Is it better, or is it somehow even worse? Let's find out. Summer 2018. Oh boy, we're starting running out of shows here. Attack on Titan, already put it on the list. Banana Fish, didn't watch it. 2018 was rough. So we got Cells at Work, which I liked. I did not like How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, but I really liked Cells at Work. And I still, like, it's not that long since I watched it, and I still have really fond memories about it. I think it was really good. But which would be more interested to revisit? Show that I know is good and I know I will like, or a show that I think was trash, but it could actually surprise me? Doubt, huge doubt, but it could. I'm going for How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Asopise. I love Workshop of Fun. As you can see, I gave it a 10. This is peak comedy.
補欠の子超喜んでたよ。ボーイン様が世界の戦争をなくしてくれるの。1万円欲しかったよ。バカなリア充たちめ。私は化粧品なんて持ってないし。お化粧ポーズ。なったよ。本田さん。違うです。重力、空気抵抗力。これらが影響し、放物線の軌道が生まれる。ここだ。
Fall of 2018. Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. I did not see that one. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. A lot of people praised this show, but I did not watch it. And the Goblin Slayer, I dropped it. Didn't finish. Sword Art Online, oh, JoJo. Homework for 2018, Violet Evergarden, Magical Girl Site, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind. Finally, the last year of the decade, 2019, winter 2019, The Promised Neverland. I remember this show being pretty fucking good. And it's still fresh in my memory because it's, you know, 2019, it's not that far back. But I've only seen it once, so maybe it's time to revisit and see if it still holds up. Unfortunately, I would also really like to revisit Kaguya-sama Love is War, because that one is also, as you can see, 9 out of 10, masterpiece, love it. So yeah, it would be nice to see if that still holds up, but you know, unfortunately, Promised Neverland takes the cake here. Well, not unfortunately, but you know, I wish I could also talk about Kaguya, but unfortunately not. Here's another iconic rent from me, Domestic Girlfriend. That's another 3 out of 10, another iconic rent from me here. Spring of 2019, Demon Slayer. Gave it an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. I thought it was really good back when I saw it. So it's time to revisit and see if it still holds up. Summer 2019, Dr. Stone. I haven't watched it yet. Vinland Saga. So currently I'm watching it. I tried to get into it, but I didn't get really far. Fire Force, didn't watch it. Oh, is it wrong to pick up girls in Dungeon 2? You know, ask the question twice. I didn't watch it. We get to talk about Teasing Master Takagi-san. I really like that series. So fucking awesome. Here we are, guys. The end of the road. Fall of 2019. My hero, already put it on a list, so winner is gonna be Beastars. Only seen it once, but I really liked it. Time to see if it holds up. As I'm recording this, it's currently the 28th of November 2022. This video is gonna take a bit of a while to make because I have to watch, not all of this, like I said, I'm gonna do multiple videos, but as we can see, we're gonna start off with 2010. So I'm gonna have to watch Durarara, Angel Beats, High School to Death, and Orimo to and we're gonna review them. So, like I'm saying, currently it's the 28th of November, and I'm gonna see you probably later, or like when I'm gonna review these shows, it's gonna be later. So yeah, you can't really watch the 2010s because you know you're gonna be seeing my reviews of them in this video, but there's all the other ones. Go if you want. I think this could be a fun experiment for all of us, for those who discovered anime in the 2010s, watched all these shows maybe once, and thought they were, oh, they were good, they were bad, whatever, and then revisit them and see, do they still hold up? And I think this could be a really long-running and really fun experiment on the channel. So I encourage you to also take part in it, and I would like to see your guys' opinions in the comments. What do you guys think? Did you think the shows were bad? Did you like them when you first saw them? Did rewatching them change your opinion? So yeah, I'll see you guys now later. I'm gonna turn off the camera and start watching the 2010s ones, and yeah.